Visions of Greatness is more than a show. It's a journey into the minds and moments that redefine what's possible. I'm Ira Joe Fisher, and this is Visions of Greatness.
Hey, thanks, Ira Joe. Always great to hear from you. BK, we have quite a guest tonight. Really,
Yeah. I don't want to get him mad. He is a retired brigadier general, and we had the most fun interviewing him, and we'll see in just a second. But he's a senior defense attaché in Russia from I think it's 2012 to 2014.
yeah, and the guy has not had too shabby a career in the military. He won the Bronze Star. He has the Distinguished Service Medal, the Legion of Merit, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff Action Officer of the Year, among other things.
Uh, and and let's talk about battles. He was in Kosovo, Afghanistan. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
and
been
and you
everywhere.
know, even today he's still quite busy, despite the fact that he's retired. He's really not retired. He is a Wilson Center Global Fellow at the Kennan Institute, and also serves at the National Defense University.
Yeah, he's wrote books too, right?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
NATO Russia Contingency Command, Russia's contradictory relationship with the West.
Yeah, actually, the two other books, one of them I read. He wrote one called Swimming the Volga, which is a U.S. Army officer's experience in pre Putin Russia. And he also wrote one on Afghanistan Kabul Courier, one soldier's story of the Taliban, tribes and ethnicity, opium trade, and burqas. Now that's a title.
He has so many interesting things to say. Let's roll the tape. Should we bring him on right now?
Let's bring him on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter
Peter B.
Zwack.
Zwack. Do we need to salute?
B. I think we do. I think we do.
It's so great to have you on this show, and I've been really looking forward to this. And we're gonna ask you some questions, thought provoking, I think, and most of our guests have said the same. So let's start with the first one.
Okay, so Peter, you've been obviously, I'm sure, interviewed so many times. What is one question that you wish someone had asked you that you haven't been asked?
I wish on occasion that in asking me questions that it ends with the question and answer without a follow-up. Can you describe your core beliefs related to that answer? Because I think so much that occurs is an answer, but the next question should be why, and not just why, but what are your core beliefs related to this? I think a lot of the narrative out there get a lot of question and answer, but you don't have a pause for the speaker to have deep think and to really think it through and answer it. And I think that's important in decision making, certainly important in the military. Create the circumstance so you don't, if you will, John Wayne your answer and just fire out, and ideally find a way to bring your audience, that you will, whether they agree with you or not, under your tent. And so that.
Good.
Oh, that's good. We've never heard that one before.
Yeah,
That's
that's a good one. Here's one I'm sure this is going to be interesting from you. Who was your role model that inspired you to be successful?
Well, I think that the role model, though I certainly would have never been him nor do I look like him. But historically, I believe that Sir Winston Churchill was the greatest man, or no, greatest personality of the 20th century. And the way he pulled his people together in England, United Kingdom, um, uh, during his finest hour, is unparalleled in history. Oddly enough, today, and I realize it's a bit of a stretch, but there's another man out there that shows some of the characteristics of Churchill. Looks utterly different, totally different background, totally different language, but it is Volodymyr Zelenskyy of Ukraine, who we can throw darts at him and oh, he's irritating and all that, and he's just a comedian. But this man of our times, which he is, has done more to 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 exemplify um, courage under pressure, intense pressure, and leadership in a way that is almost impossible to conjure. The moment that he, on his own decision, was being urged to get out of central Kiev during the first night of the Russian bombing, the invasion, all the way back in 2022, and we were going to provide him a flight out. And he said, "No, I'm going to stay." And it was at that moment, I believe, that the Russians lost the first phase of that war because he coalesced as leaders do a resistance, and it was just infectious, and it was not just domestically, but it was also internationally. Um, who is this guy? I mean, most Americans, even who paid news, or Europeans, um, who is this guy? This very nondescript looking guy, sort of the anti-hero, but I think he's a man of our times, and this is why I have a, oh, it's fallen back a little bit, but I have two magazine covers behind me. One is of this Time magazine, Man of the Year, Zelenskyy, right over there, 1922. Excuse me, 2022, and the other man is Pope Leo, who is also an inspirational man. He's got cojones, and I think that both arrived in history during these fractious times at a critical moment. Who could imagine an American pope at this time, and an outspoken one? And again, where did Zelenskyy come from? Because he has pulled together a tangible but moral opposition to the point where Russia has been completely, mostly stymied. And then Pope Leo is just flat out inspirational.
Great.
That was great. We're going to switch things up now and go the opposite direction of all that. Give me your worst pet peeves. What really just gets under your skin?
The older or younger I get, it's unthinking. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Those that will blurt out opinions and get locked into positions that I believe are reflex and often being part of a herd, part of part of a herd of people that will all glom together and pile um, on really important issues, some of which done in great ignorance. And I think that ignorance, and I'm far from perfect, but the ignorance that we are seeing today in the running of our country and how we are taking this war to Iran is stupefying to me. We're better than that. We're smarter than that. Um, um, and so I think the just maybe it's not just being ignorant, but it's the leveraging or operationalization of said ignorance, where it lands in all of a sudden operations, and then we get into trouble as we are right now. And ignorance you see everywhere, but when you see it in high decision making positions with no checks and balances to rein in said ignorance, then we embark on seemingly self-destructive activities.
And we're screwed.
Did that help?
That
That
helped.
absolutely did. It's
That
so
helped.
interesting to hear a military point of view, because it's so different from just the variety of different guests we have, and it's just so fascinating. But
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm going to skip
All
to
I
an.
ask, all I ask is it for me the number one paramount effect that I want to have. You get to this point in life, and I think you're probably the same way. The number one aspect of your personality, especially when you're alive, you just want to be seen as credible.
Correct.
And you can have your different positions, but within that box, you just want to be seen credible, and that doesn't always happen anymore.
Agreed. Speaking of that, and really shifting into a different thought wave here, if you could have achieved success in a different line of work, what would that have been?
Well, it's this is sort of my Pollyannish side.
That's okay.
Um, all right, and before I went into the military, I wanted to be a marine biologist, and I wanted to work in the oceans. I was an avid scuba diver growing up, and um, but the real secret is my grades really bad at math and science, and I didn't get into University of Miami, so so that didn't happen. And oh, by the way, everybody asks me, especially young cadets, when I lecture at West Point and places like that, "Hey, sir, when did you come to the academy?" And I look at them, I look left, I look right, guys. I couldn't have gotten into the academy. Uh, but I'm living proof that there are alternate career tracks. And because I enlisted off the street in 1980 in Gramercy Park, New York.
oh wow.
Was going to join the Army for 3 years, challenge, uh, become a second lieutenant through the officer candidate school. And then I was going to get out to the wine business. Well, I screwed up. This is what life is all about. I screwed up and stayed for 35 years almost. And so I will tell young folks, just get out there. You don't know where it's all going to take you. Just try to do the right thing, whatever that construct is within your world and your belief system. And pay your taxes. and you're doing the right. And you are, because I get all the time, thanks for your service, sir. And I appreciate that. But then I will look at them and I will say, thank you for your service from janitor to general. Because everybody is doing their own thing. And as long as it's on a positive track, no matter what it is, you're contributing to the society.
It's great advice for the younger, like that's what I try to impart on my kids, because it's all you ask, because you don't know. The life is going to throw you curveballs. There's no set in stone. Speaking of curveballs, is there, you had a couple of curveballs. Is there anything you do over in your life as it stands now that if you could?
There's a lot I would do over, but you know what, guys? In retrospect, the defense rests. I have unbelievably to me um, had a wild run, and I'm still a little bit involved. And while I would do it, do it over, and then I could have maybe, you know, listen, moved to lead bigger organizations or do something significant um, business. As I said, the defense rests. I'm at peace that playing with a fairly smudged deck growing up, I got stayed behind at school. I got asked to leave one school. Um, Again, I'm not the poster child in the linear fashion how to do. But what I did do was I was able to see opportunity um, I benefited as we all do by great people, and I'm of the mind that people are fundamentally good, and you surround themselves with you, and with them, and you you yeah. So I'm basically gregarious, and I'm convinced in some difficult to quantify way that because I was so people centric, and I think my peers in the military almost universally, whether they'd agree with me or not, would say I was certainly that. And that helped me. As I said, you try to treat every person you encounter, from janitor to general, with dignity and respect first, and then you move on to whatever you're doing in work, and you expect from them to treat their leaders and their subordinates and their peers the same. And that's how you get healthy organizations, whether it's in the military or in city government, or just the operationalization of a city. I'm not talking kumbaya, but it's just fundamental human decency. I know I'm on a little bit of the soapbox, but it has worked for me, and I think the people that know me and that would hear me say that would say, especially some of my boss, yeah, he was pretty flawed in some ways, but yeah, that's him. And believe me, I have my flaws.
Well, Don doesn't have any flaws. I don't know if you knew that.
Well,
He's got
Peter
0.
knows me a little bit, so he knows I have some flaws. Uh, Speaking of flaws, here's something I know on a daily basis. This happens with me, where I look around, I see something occurring, and I say to myself, you can't make this stuff up. Is there anything that strikes you at the moment that would fit that reaction?
Yeah, you can't make stuff up. Yeah, the line I use is better than fiction, and and we've seen a lot of better than fiction moments. The entire operation of our government and the leading of our nation um, has created situations and circumstances that I think many of us, or the majority of us, if they've actually applied and thought that way, couldn't have conjured or supported, whether Democrat or Republican.
You know, one of the questions we ask everybody also here, and it's the most important one, maybe the hardest one, other than the first question, is what does greatness mean to you?
And I think that you find greatness at every echelon of society if people are out there trying to do the right thing. Now, you may not call it greatness insofar as it's, you know, all over the world and everything else, but we all know that term, that inner greatness. And I think that is, we find countless people that are, if you will, working in the trenches and NGOs and doctors and researchers and scientists that are great in their own right. That's in part what the Nobel Prize was aimed at. And I'll stop. That was vastly too long.
I learned a
No,
lot.
that's
I learned a
uh,
lot.
yeah, no, that's okay. That's
It's
okay.
good.
Well, I just I we're out of time here. I can't thank you enough for sitting down and taking the time with us.
Yeah, it was great.
I, yeah, well, it's an honor. I saw that um, you did that great piece on Ron Say and all that.
Mhm.
And I am. Oh, by the way, I'm an old jock. I mean, and that certainly helped me when I came in the military. I could outrun my basic training company, um, um, and absolutely loved sports, and they played a huge factor in my development. I played lacrosse. Um, I like to think I was a little ambassador for lacrosse because I played lacrosse for almost 45 years. And in the military, the second half of my career, after playing in college, I you travel around the world or in the States, and there would be lacrosse clubs everywhere. I played, and we had a German lacrosse club in Stuttgart. My last one was the Moscow lacrosse club, where you had a bunch of expats and Russian preppies that wanted to play lacrosse, and so, but it was great, and I was a goalie right up to 63 years old. So I am a little crazy.
That's
So
okay. That's okay. Look who you're talking to. Look at us
That's
two
right.
yahoos here. These
Takes
two
one to know
dinglings.
one.
and Ron would say that was a great thing. I am a Cubs fan, forgive me, and grew up in Chicago as a little boy, and then moved to New York City.
Well,
And
That's the place. That's great.
yep, fantastic.
Peter, thanks so much.